You know what's genuinely refreshing for once? Watching a party leader grow a spine and actually say what the rest of us have been screaming at our screens for the past couple of years. Ed Davey, yes, the man the media ignored and often has to fling himself into lakes just to make the headlines, has finally said it out loud. The BBC is giving Nigel Farage and Reform a free ride, and he's absolutely right. Because while the Lib Dems are out there offering costed plans to slash energy bills and wean us off overpriced gas, actual policy work, Farage is invited on every panel show to rant about woke bins and pretend that zero was the cause of all human suffering. And the BBC? Barely a challenge, barely a follow-up, just an endless cycle of platforming a man who has never had to answer a question, and what then? Because Farage never has a plan, he never has a solution, it's just a soundbite. Ed Davey laid it all out. It's not just the airtime, it's the type of airtime. Reform gets a headline treatment for outrage. The Lib Dems get squeezed into the last 5 minutes unless Ed's fallen off a paddleboard or dressed as a Teletubby. So when Ed Davey said that the BB needs to raise its game, that's not party politics. That's a public service announcement because the media keep chasing Farage's circus and ignoring the people doing the actual policy work. We don't just get bad politics, we get bad democracy.
Now, this is about getting people's energy bills down to help them the cost of living crisis.
But you're still committed to net zero, aren't you, where some other parties are saying that we need to scale that ambition back?
Well, Nigel Farage comes on programmes like the BBC's programmes and he says he's got this, it's all to do with high energy bills and it's all renewables. He comes up with the problems. He never has a solution, and he won't admit, will he, that it's gas prices that are causing the problem. They cause the problems in your heating bills, they cause the problem in the electricity bills. And why are those gas prices high? Because Britain is more dependent than many countries on gas. And guess who's putting the gas prices up? Vladimir Putin, the world leader Nigel Farage admires the most. I'm afraid I'm not going to take lessons on how we get energy bills down from Nigel Farage. He has no idea, he has no solutions. What Liberal Democrats are coming up with is practical solutions to help get people off this high cost of gas.
It's interesting that you're the one who brought up the name Nigel Farage and talked specifically about reform. It's a sign of the times, isn't it, that you clearly see them as a real threat politically, however different you might like to think you are.
I'm really worried about what he could do to our country because he comes up with all the problems and says it's all everyone else's fault. He has no solutions, and I think he needs to be exposed. And I have to say the BBC are not doing a very good job of doing that. You have him on, he gets away with all these arguments without being properly held to account. That's why I'm bringing him up today. I think the BBC needs to do a better job, needs to hold Nigel Farage to account. And if I have to come on your programme to do that, I'll do just that.
Well, I think, speaking for this programme, when we've spoken to him, we've certainly challenged anything he said, as we would challenge all of you.
I'm sorry.
I would have thought I don't think
you're doing. I'm sorry.
I thought
I love the BBC.
Democrat,
I love the BBC.
As a Liberal Democrat, I thought you would be interested in the media covering all voices in politics.
Yeah, but you know what happens? I'm sorry, John. You cover the tittle-tattle around reform. The tittle-tattle. You don't look at their policies. And if people are going to vote for them, they need to know what they stand for. And I'm afraid, if you look at their policies, there's not a lot there.
I think last time Nigel Farage was on, we put to him exactly that fact, that it was all very well criticising others from the sidelines, and we were putting exactly to him that he needed to come up with or tell us what his own policies were. Exactly that point.
Well, maybe you're the exception to the BBC rule, but I have to say, when I look at the broad BBC coverage, he gets such an easy ride, and he gets covered when he says horrible things that aren't producing solutions for people's problems, like the cost of living, like we're trying to solve. He doesn't talk about the problems in the NHS. He doesn't deal with the need to sort out care. He has the problems that my constituents face every day. Liberal Democrats are producing solutions for them. Nigel Farage doesn't, and maybe BBC Breakfast is the exception, but I have to say the BBC's got to raise its game to expose Nigel Farage.
Davey, we have to leave it there. An interesting discussion. Thank you very much indeed for your time.
Thank you.
And it's not only Reform that don't get any pushback. The Tory client media is quite happy for Chris Philp to talk absolute twaddle, which you can see in the video that's on screen now. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time.